I'm joined by our correspondent William Denselow, who joins us from the capital, Kyiv, this evening.
The message from Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is that the country will keep fighting, it will win, and it will reclaim those territories that have been taken from it.
A town in tatters, torn apart in a matter of moments. A Mexican restaurant stood here. Now it's unrecognisable. Another pile of debris for emergency crews to sift through.
Oh my goodness, look at my house.
This is all that's left of Mary Robinson's home. The last time she saw it was when her and her husband took shelter in their bathtub as the tornado hit. A decision, they say, saved their lives.
Let's head straight to Will Denselow, who is joining us from outside a court in Manhattan. Will, what do we know about the charges Mr. Trump could face?
Well, like you say, the exact charges are not known, but it is likely that it will revolve around allegations that he falsified business records. Of course, those allegations that he gave some $130,000 to his fixer at the time, Michael Cohen, who then passed it on to the porn star Stormy Daniels, who was having an alleged affair with Donald Trump, of course, a charge that Donald Trump has vehemently denied.
This is the work of a generation of the ISRO scientists. What next?
Absolutely. Well, what next is we heard from Indian researchers and their space mission saying that they will seek to use this opportunity for being the first on the South Pole to explore things like whether there's water on the South Pole, to take samples. This is not just for India's benefit. This is for other space agencies as well. We've heard recently from a NASA press conference that was held about the updates on their Artemis mission. They said essentially they don't see this so much as a space race with the likes of the Indian mission, with the likes of Russia's space program as well. This is all very much seen as harmonious activities. One bit of scientific research from one space agency can hopefully help other agencies around the world as well.
More than 2,700 people died when hijackers crashed two commercial planes into the Twin Towers in Lower Manhattan. An event that's left the city's iconic skyline forever changed. This mural pays tribute to the more than 300 firefighters that were killed on 9/11. But in the years that have followed, over 300 first responders have died from diseases linked to the fumes released when the Twin Towers fell. In just a couple of minutes, researchers here collected about 15 ticks. They're also asking the local community to document sightings so they can better understand the tick population here in New Jersey. For educators, teaching in these conditions has been a learning experience. During air alerts, first and second graders, that's children between 6 to 8 years old, will come down here to this shelter to continue their studies and to stay safe. On one occasion, they spent 5 hours underground. Missile strikes on critical infrastructure leaves thousands of people in parts of the country for long periods of time without electricity or without heating, of course, even more prominently felt during the winter. So this all has ramifications for the country's economy. It is estimated, according to Ukraine's central bank, that the economy will pick up to the tune of around 0.3% this year. But Ukraine also warns that its entire pre-war budget currently is being spent on its armed forces. That is why Ukraine says it urgently needs extra financial support from the international community.
Yeah, Paul, you mentioned the scene behind me. It's impossible to think now, but just a couple of days ago, the El Mariachi restaurant stood right here. The only sign that a restaurant was once here, things like this, takeaway containers, the only real evidence that that was once a restaurant. And of course, it's not just buildings that have been so hard hit here in Rolling Fork. You can see the devastation. There are flipped cars, just really strews of debris wherever you look in any direction in this town of around 2,000 or so people. There are emergency crews. They've been here all morning, as they have been since the tornado struck. Speaking to some of those officials, they really say they're going through this debris to see if there are any survivors.
Another big move to Al Hilal, and this time from Seville. What exactly this means for the European football?
Well, it's a huge question, Deepika, and we've heard directly from the UEFA president speaking
in recent months who somewhat downplayed the impact that this could have on European football. He said that, yes, the finances are certainly a motivation for a number of the world's top players, but they're also motivated by competition and ultimately by trophies. That is why he argues that you will still see many top players rejecting those lucrative offers from Saudi Arabia to stay and compete in Europe's competitions. But as far as supporters of the Saudi Pro League are concerned, considering the fact that of each of the 18 teams in the league, they can have 8 international players, foreign players per side, that potentially in the future gives it the opportunity to stack their teams with superstars. Writers in the US have been on strike since May, calling for better pay and greater protections in a rapidly changing industry. And those here say the COVID-19 pandemic was a significant plot twist for workers' rights.